it holds. That is unbelievable.
Hello Electroheads, you are watching a review of the new magnetic one-wheel pint fender from Craft & Ride, hosted by me, Richard Beach, the man you just witnessed drop a one-wheel on his foot. More on that act of stupidity later.
Right, so here we go, let's unbox this sucker. Looks like some stickers and some information and some bits and some more information in there as well. And the important bit, the fender itself. Slightly different lines on it. It's definitely taking up less space, kind of a flatter curve, but not much in it really. Actually, I kind of prefer the design of the Craft & Ride one to the stock one-wheel one. So before I go any further, I guess one of the main things to answer here is why you would actually want a magnetic fender on a one-wheel. Number one for me, the underside of a fender can get pretty dirty pretty quickly, and it's just easier to clean it if you can pop it straight off. Second reason, it's just easy to switch from one colour to another. There's a growing movement for customising one wheels. It's definitely a big part of one wheel culture now, and if you can just flip from orange to black, whatever, change the look of your one wheel, it's cool and it's useful. Reason three, say you're going for a ride in the dry, mainly on pavements, you don't need one, then pop it straight off. If you know that it's going to be maybe slightly wet one day and you're going on a trail ride, pop it straight back on again. Reason four, magnets are basically the closest thing we have to magic. Magnets, magic start with the same three letters. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so.
So the other big question to answer here is how easy is it to install onto the one wheel? I decided to ask Alexa to set me a timer of 2 minutes to see how I got on. I started with my stock one wheel fender still attached to the board.
Okay, so let's be honest, that took a little longer than anticipated. The main thing I didn't realise was that you actually have to reinstall the fender delete, and once you've done that, you have to put the magnets in the right places, line them up, and then screw them in. They're quite long screws. I'm not great with an Allen key, to be honest, so it probably took me about 3.5 minutes in total, which is by no means the end of the world. And then once you've actually got this thing on there, I'm really impressed by this. So I'm going to do something slightly terrifying. I'm going to lift the whole one wheel up by the fender. That is incredible. I'm not gripping anything else except for the fender. My knees are not the best that they could be after years of skating and playing football. So to have the confidence to just do this, and that's quite a bit of force there, and it's not shifting at all. Then if you do want to take it off, you just put your hand down on the board, snap it off. It comes off incredibly easily. I'm really impressed by that. I want to take it out for a ride to see how it does over things like speed bumps, dropping off curbs, and maybe even some famous British cobbles. So let's go.
It was around this point, after 10 minutes of riding on the crappiest surfaces I could find, and going up and down curbs, that I forgot I was riding with a magnetic fender. The Craft & Ride fender holds incredibly well, at least for the level I'm at. Perhaps it would be different for a more skilled rider doing bigger drops, but I feel like I'm representative of the majority of one-wheel riders when it comes to skill level, and it's working well for me. It was also around this moment I decided to try a curb hop on a fairly tall curb, with confidence flowing through me. I must admit I've gone back to skateboarding to get around recently, making the most of the British summer, and I'm a bit rusty on a one wheel, so here's what happened next. Yep, that's me. You're probably wondering how I ended up in this situation. While my elbow and my pride were damaged, my fender stayed perfectly cemented to the board. Colour me impressed and a little embarrassed. So what's my overall verdict? I was skeptical of this thing when it arrived, but I like it. It looks cool, it's certainly less toyish than the original one-wheel fender. I'm thinking of getting a flight fin next, so it's good to know I could easily install a flight fin without much hassle. If I was running a stock fender, I'd have to remove it and reinstall the fender delete before installing a flight fin. With this, the delete is already there. For $99 it's not cheap, but Onewheel isn't a cheap hobby. We all knew what we were getting ourselves into. And I don't think it's an unreasonable price from an independent company that's providing additional choice and support for a burgeoning community. If you want one of these yourself, use the link in our bio. It helps to support our channel and you'll get a 10% discount. One thing I will say is always make sure that every corner of the fender is flush with its corresponding magnet. One slightly loose connection can compromise it entirely, which is what happened to me in the opening clip of this video when I dropped the Onewheel on my foot. This was totally my fault, I must say. But if you don't want to risk anything like that ever happening, then A, it's probably best not to hold a Onewheel over yourself. What kind of idiot does that? B, maybe you're better off with the screw-on fender. As always, thanks so much for watching. Please do subscribe to Electroheads for more videos on Onewheel, e-skate, e-scooters, e-bikes and EVs, and let us know in the comments if there's a product you'd like us to take a look at.